Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the Roundtabletalk. I'm your host, C Money, and today discussion we're talking about the election 2010. Did it turn out good or did it turn out bad? My special guest co-host Kayla Clark. She was on the set, but she's now, saying she won't be here for the remainder of the um show. We were discussing basically did the 2010 election turn out good or did it turn out bad? And our defense, no, it did not turn out the way it's supposed to turn out. It turned out a different way. And the reason why, as we were discussing, the majority of the House is now Republicans. And a lot of people were displeased by what the outcome was. And one of the reasons why is because a lot of people didn't vote, and a lot of people, who did vote thought that we was going to have change. And we was also saying that how a lot of people don't like President Obama is because he promised a lot of things and a lot of the things didn't get done. You know, if you have any comments or questions on what we're discussing and talking about, you can email us anytime at roundtable00@yahoo.com. Once again, it's roundtable00@yahoo.com. I'll tell you again towards the end of the show. You can also push your comments at the end of each part of the show. At the bottom where it says post your comments as well. We was basically just talking about the election. We also talked about um, from where we're living at, Florida. Governor Rick Scott is the new governor of Florida, and he changed. Charlie Crist, you know, was the former governor of Florida, but he was out, and he was going for U.S. Senate, which was also three people was going for U.S. Senate. Marco Rubio, which was the Republican, Kendrick Meade, which is a black Democrat who was also going for U.S. Senate, and Charlie Crist, who is a Republican, but he decided to go as run as an independent. And Marco Rubio, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, won. And a lot of people say that they didn't like Kendrick Meade because his family was a crooked family, which I don't think so. It's just that the Republicans wanted to take control of the House. They felt like really Obama was in office, and now they're feeling, oh, Obama's taking over, and Obama, a lot of Democrats are going to be taking over. It's not that. They wanted the House. They're going to be a few changes and everything. And what Kelly was talking about before he went on break, that Rick Scott, the governor of Florida, wants, now that if you are on government assisting housing, you get food stamps, you're getting government anything, you're gonna have to now take a piss test, which is a drug test, you know. And now that the Republicans are taking over, it's gonna be hard for the middle class and the low class to actually, make something of themselves, because like I was stating, you have to practically be homeless now to get food stamps. I've seen these commercials that say, oh, if you have kids, you can get food stamps. If you make less than certain amount of money per year, you can get food stamps. Basically, you have to be making at least $2 a month for you to get food stamps. And I feel like really that's unacceptable. A lot of these hardworking people only get paid $5, $6 an hour and only make like $300, $400 a month. Got a $500 light bill. I mean, not light bill, $500 rent. You know what I'm saying? Got kids and all this, and they can't even get food stamps because government feels they make too much money. And I feel that is wrong. Now that the Republicans are now got power, and then now majority of them are now they took over the House. It's going to be hard for a lot of low class and middle class people, you know. And something's good going to come out of it. What we said, the upper class and the rich people are gonna now have they're gonna yeah they're gonna have the party because now the Republicans are gonna cater to them. They're not gonna cater to the poor black people or to the poor white people or to the poor Latino or to the poor well, I can't say poor white people, but poor blacks and Latinos, the people who are living in poverty. It's hard to find a job right now. And President Obama tries as hard as he can to try to bring the economy back up. One of my things is Bush. When Bush left, Bush made it like, fuck it. I'm out of office now, so it's Obama's problem now. And whoever's the president, they're going to have to do what they got to do. And it was hard. You can't find a decent job right now. You can't even much flip a burger at McDonald's without having a degree or have a degree in flipping burgers. You can't do a lot of things right now. It's hard for people to find a job right now. And then it's hard to get government assistance while finding a job because you got to go through this long process. You know, you got to go through a lot of stuff. People are losing their homes. People are getting kicked out of their apartments and houses. People, you know what I'm saying, don't have money to feed their child. People can't even feed their own self, let alone feed their child. And then they got the Republicans in office. How do you feel about this? You can email us. Because right now it's just like I'm pissed off about the whole situation. It's about now there's going to be change for the worse. You barely can do, you barely can get a job now. Now the public is going to make it even harder for you to do anything now. You barely can get food stamps or unemployment or government assistance now. So now that the Republicans are taking over and got the power back in their hands now, because ever since Obama, when Obama got president, they felt like the Democrats won the power. Now, this is one of the biggest elections that we've had so far, you know, and now the Republicans got the power back in their hands. So it's really going to be hard for African Americans. It's really going to be hard for a lot of people to, you know what I'm saying, get what they want, which is a better job, help from the government till they get back on their feet, or other things. You know, it's hard for kids and it's hard for young people not to get in school because they keep raising the school, the college fees. Every time you turn around, the college fee go up a couple of percentages up. You know, it's hard to get around because bus fare prices are going up, gas prices are going up, taxes keep going up and down. You know, you gotta practically walk to get where you gotta go. You know, because you gotta pay at least $3 to $4 to just get on the bus. You gotta pay $3 to $4 just for 1 gallon to go in your tank. You know, it's hard, and a lot of people don't realize what the Republicans in office now. They're gonna try so hard to make it harder for us, the common everyday going to work 9 to 5, whatever. That's not making the enough ends to pay rent and stuff. They're making it hard for us now. And then they're gonna sit up here and make it seem like, oh, we're gonna, you know what I'm saying, create jobs. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying, lower taxes. You're not doing none of that. You're making it harder for us. You know, and a lot of people don't realize that this election meant a lot. And a lot of people that I've spoke to, you know, said that they didn't vote because they knew that their voice wasn't going to be heard. I voted and my voice still wasn't heard. You know, there's an article in one of the newspapers in Florida that said how Rick Scott did it. Rick Scott, when he first came out, campaign, he didn't get none of that endorsements. He got only a few endorsements. You know how Rick Scott funded his campaign with his own money. And then there was a article in the paper said that the last 12 days of Rick Scott's campaigning, he dished out an additional 12 million. And then they're stating now, how will Rick Scott get his money back if we're stupid enough to elect him into office? He won. So what that means? That means he must go do something to get his money back. We're gonna see what can he do. You're gonna see an update on our. You're gonna see an update on the future shows about the progress of the 2010 election. We're gonna do a future update show about it. Is it made any progress, the election 2010, or did it fail us? Because a lot of people now are dissing. Even when we was talking about President Obama did um, a presidential speech the day after the election and said he had to work with both parties, and a lot of people was very unpleased on the outcome because the Republicans gained power. And I was unacceptable, and I was mad as well because I've seen a lot of people who I voted for didn't even much get into office. Not only governors and senates and Congress, even county commissioners, you know, Congress, you know, U.S. senates, governors, even commissioners got booted out, and I was very upset. We're gonna continue this. We're gonna go into a commercial break. We're gonna come back to the final part of the election 2010. Stick around, don't go anywhere. I'm gonna do my final thoughts, and we're gonna be right back. Stay tuned. Roundtable Talk.